please. I want to talk. I want to talk to my king. I'll come back to you.
No, it's fine. Thank you so much. We are talking on the issue of, blended family. The challenges that we normally experience as you are, stepfather, stepmother. Over to you, Vera.
Good evening, everyone. Blended families. I grew up in a blended family. Actually, in more, I've had, mothers, extra mothers, and for me, I think my dad played a huge role in making sure that our blended family functions properly with the way that he treated us, the kids. And that also had an effect with any other mother who was there. So for me, I saw that the man or the head of the family needs to take accountability in terms of what his authority is as the head of the family. She's actually, doing the co-parenting. I was very impressed with the lady that, this is another lady saying that, she makes the co-parenting very, she goes into some island. This is not even a child. It's just a child of her now husband. So I think children don't deserve to be in an environment they are hated because people have got acceptance or issues. When you decide to be involved or to make a commitment with someone of your kids, you need to accept the kids as well. love them the same way as you love your kids. They'll have the same faults because they are kids. Treat them the same way, and in that manner, you create a more harmonious and a favorable home for both your kids and the other kids. Because when the kids see that they are actually treated equally and fairly, they start loving each other. Then there's no unfairness with the other one, that they'll think, okay, this one is favored, this one is not reprimanded the same way. If the principles and the way that you raise them is same, you will see that the kids start loving each other and bond like they are from the same biological parent. And also the part of disciplining the kids, I always say that parents should never, in front of the kids, disagree about how they discipline that child. Because if I'm the biological mom and I decide to actually discipline my child in a manner that is not what we agreed on. So mostly, I think when you go into a space where you need to discipline a child, have agreements of what you're going to actually speak to the child about, and make sure that you don't have those disagreements in front of the child. That helps the part that the child can never think that there is a place where he or she can run to get it easy. Because kids can manipulate that, no, and then they'll end up even saying to the other, you're not my mom, you're not my dad, because of the way that the two of you as parents have actually handled how you actually handle issues with them. So always have one voice. They know that when mom says it's a no to dad as well. If there's any changes, it should be changes that both of you have agreed on. If not in front of those kids. You can go take it to your bedroom or whatever office that you have where you actually work your things, but not in front of the kids, because that can cause trouble in the future, where the one who's not biological might not be able to reprimand the child in the future, because the child will feel that, no, you're always unfair to me. My mom or my dad thinks that you're unfair, you don't like me. They start creating those things to say it. So I believe that blended families can work. We just have to open our hearts and be loving, just like we want our children to be accepted by other people. If we don't accept other children's, then it means we don't expect our kids to be accepted by other people. So it's both ways, really. One takes a step of being in a relationship where there's kids, either both sides, or you don't even have kids yourself and you get into a marriage or a relationship where the other person has got kids. Accept and make peace and be determined to love that child as your own. That's my 2 cents.
Very powerful contribution there by Comrade Veronica. Amanda Comrade.
Amen.
We've heard the Comrade Kaban. We're talking on step parenting. You can comment wherever you are. Let us know what you think. This debate, it's for everyone. It's not only for me. Tlamun, when now you are from a royal family, as much as a child, how does this thing affect you or contribute to you? What is it that you've learned, and what is it that you say, what can you tell me about blended family? Over to you, Tlamun.
I think blended families is just like any other family. There's nothing wrong. It's just unfortunate that maybe we as the Black community, we are still struggling to accept the blended families, because honestly, most of the peoples are of the opinion that I can't be able to raise a child that's not my own. The only kids that I'm going to raise are my biological kids. But there's nothing wrong. Anyway, I've never ever been exposed to such. But I had friends that has been raised from blended families. I know of one friend who is so loving, who's loving her stepmother like her own mom. So I don't see anything wrong with blended families. It's just a matter of maybe shifting the paradigm to for us to understand that blended family is just like any other family, and it can work as long as we love the kids. We show our kids that we love them. We do everything for them without judging. We become so determined to see them grow in a loving environment, in a loving home. I don't see anything wrong, because
Okay,
looking
that's
at
fine.
things.
It's fine. Between a male partner and a female partner, which one has a challenge in raising a child which does not belong to them?
From my experience, majority is women. You do get guys that are not, but with women, the challenge is that they won't say that they don't like the child. Inside the marriage, they mistreat the child and treat the child like to feel that it's not theirs. With males, normally they will express that they don't want the child. I've seen in situations where the guy will tell the lady, which I feel is unacceptable, but they do that you don't bring your child to the marriage, you must leave the child at home. For me, hell no. You don't want my child, you don't want me. As simple as that. But I feel that with the women, it's more. From my experience, I might be wrong. Some people might have experienced it the other way. I find a lot of guys do actually accept kids that are not theirs, and they raise them, they support them through it all. And I've seen couples where you find that the guy has accepted her kids, but she still hasn't accepted his kids fully, with the way that she treats those kids, the way that when there's resources in the family that needs to be given to the kids, she will not equally distribute them to the kids, but she'll favor her children's, which is wrong. It shouldn't be like that. She should be treating those kids the same way as if, because they're all hers, especially when the man has actually accepted her kids. Also, you find that it's vice versa. In few cases that I've seen, the guy might be exactly like that, but in my experience, it's us ladies.
So it's you ladies.
Mostly.
Samuel,
My experience.
what makes you guys to be so difficult to the poor kids? I mean, they never brought themselves into this world.
I guess it's jealous.
Jealous
I
for
think
what? This is just a child. Why
yes,
do you have to be jealous? I mean, about the child that wants love.
that's the problem, because the child is caught up in between the parents' issues, like baby daddy, baby mama drama issues. And that's why loko tindlopfu timbirhi ti lwa, it's the grass that will suffer. So the kid is exposed to such things, because we don't know as to how the father and the baby mother, the baby mama, or the baby mama and the father parted ways. Sometimes you find that one feels that the stepmom, the recent stepmom, is the one who was behind my marriage. So I'll never ever allow her or him to raise my child because she's the one who broke my marriage at times. Though the scenarios are different, but in most cases, people think she's the one who made me to leave my marriage or the relationship so that she can be in or he can be in. Therefore, I will never ever allow my child to be raised by such a woman or such a man. So that's where the problem lies. But in most cases, really, like Sister Vero said, it's us women who doesn't want our kids to be raised by the recent mommy that daddy is dating or seeing or whatever. So yeah, I think it's mostly women who doesn't want their kids to be in a blended relationship. Yeah. Hello.
Hi, I can hear
Yes.
you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now we
Yes.
can hear you.
Yeah, you said you never experienced it. And let's go to Maria, who has. Uh, now, I want to ask you this question, Maria. What was the conversations when the kids want to see their mother, and yet you're married to this guy?
Okay, trust me, if the kids wanted to see their mother, and I was the one taking them there.
And
Yes.
okay, tell me in the beginning when you just got married to him, right? You just got married to the guy. He has two kids, and the kids want to see their mother, and you have to go. Were you able to face her?
At first, it wasn't easy because she hated me. She
Did
didn't want
did
to.
did she say that to you? I don't want.
Not directly, but you can read between the lines.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yes, not
She
directly.
never wanted to box you.
No, no.
Okay, tell me.
No.
Okay, tell me. How did you meet this guy?
Okay, I met him. He was divorced already. I
Okay,
got a man that was divorced already.
he was divorced,
He was divorced.
and
Then
you were not married. You never had a
I
child.
was very, very young. I was in matric.
Okay,
Yes, I was still young.
so
I
you were
went there.
still not sure what to do there.
Exactly. Even that thinking mentality, I developed there. I was
Nice time. You wanted a nice time. Here is the man who have it all. The nice time was scam.
That's why I was very, very young. He was my first. In other words,
And
he was my
and
first.
how was your marriage the first year?
Um, I will say it was fine because I didn't know what to expect. When you go blank, where when you are blank,
Mhm.
you just manage everything that comes your way positively. I didn't see any problem until I grew up, get matured, get educated. Then I started noticing, yay, there are
Okay,
problems here.
okay, Maria, who take you to the school? Was the guy?
Eish, the challenge, trust me, that's where problems started because after my matric, I
Mhm.
went to stay with him. But he
Mhm.
said to me, I'm not going to take you to school or to tertiary
Mm.
because you can be educated and leave me. And then my mother, as a farm worker, listen,
Okay.
my mother, as a farm worker, when she had this, she said, Maria, I'll work for you, I'll give you my whole salary. I'll take you to school even though you are not with me. She took me to school while my husband was a teacher. She paid everything until I graduated.
Wow.
And staying in a room with the teacher.
Yes, and when I started working, when I say I want to help my siblings, that's where we started to fight.
So,
He said,
because
okay, now you are working, you want to take your money to your mother. I said, no, I'm helping her. She's a farm worker. And then, trust me, I can't explain the whole story. It was horrible until I make him to choose whether I help my mother or I give, because I'm who I am because of my mother.
Mhm.
Yes, I
Okay. Have you ever tried to actually sit down with him and say, look, this is the situation. I want to assist my mother. I want to assist my sibling so that when they grow up, they can work for you. They can work, they would assist me, because for them to work, they're assisting me and you, because I would more, I mean, there are more 2 or 3 people that are working. So the lesser the responsibility.
Bishop, I did that. Ne? He was so stubborn not to agree, and I was even accused of disobeying my husband because I'm now working.
Okay. If you have a question, Veronica, you will indicate by the raising of your hands if you have a comment. But this is very okay. Now, this is what I want to understand. Uh, there is a gentleman, your husband, and you have kids with him, and you have other 2 kids that you're staying with him. Now, when the parent, you start working, did his family supported him on the battle that you're having?
Trust me, ne? There was one incident. I called the mother-in-law. I was crying, hoping she will rescue me to talk by talking to her son. She said, okay, let's wait until he comes back. He will know me. We waited. I was hoping that today is today. We are 2 women against 1 man. He's in trouble.
So
When
you
he
look,
arrived,
Maria, you lobbied the mother against the son.
yes, exactly.
Okay.
When he arrived immediately, she stood up. She looked at me. She said, you want me to kill my son because of Vesha? She called me Vesha.
Vesha?
I was like, I looked at her on the face. She said, Famba, angahakulavi. I was going, angahakulavi, Famba. And I meant, I was in a shock, to an extent that even the husband himself, he had to rescue me from the mother. He said, yes.
What?
He even told the mother that, no, Mama, you are wrong. That's when I made a decision, and it made me to grow, because I said, you know what? I'm no longer going to share my problems with anyone. I'm on my own here. I have to trust my God and my instinct. I faced everything alone.
Okay. What was your mother saying on that situation when those things were happening? What is it that your mother was saying?
My mother, trust me, I was not sharing my challenges or my problems with my mother, because my mother loved my husband more than me.
Mm.
And she trusted him with everything, to an extent that, she will call her and say, I really appreciate you for taking care of my own child. Not knowing that I'm the one who's even taking care of the husband and his own children. And I couldn't tell her. I couldn't tell her. Trust me, she nearly suffered depression when it was enough, when we had a family meeting, when I disclosed what I went through. She could not believe it.
Mm.
She could not believe it. The whole family said, what? How can you keep silent? How can you, even the uncles, his uncles, they were like shocked. Everybody was
Okay,
shocked.
Maria, after that experience,
Mm.
um, how was your relationship between you and your mother-in-law? I mean, this is your mother. Don't respond it for the sake of yours. I wanted true reflections of what was happening at that particular time.
Okay. After she did that,
Mhm,
I told myself that I understand this woman. She is a
mhm,
mother.
mhm,
And she really want what is best for her own child,
mhm.
because they tried to organize a lady for her, and then he denied.
Who
Yes,
tried to organize the lady? It's the mother.
the family. So I was not the chosen one. So I had to understand where she come from. And trust me, I told myself I'm going to love her, and every year I will make sure that I do spend to buy her some gifts. Every year it was my task. But I will buy her, she will accept those things and give it to somebody else. She won't wear if it's a clothes. If it's a blanket, she won't wear. Until even her own son, one day when I bought a very beautiful dress, he said, you are pushing you. Can't you see that she doesn't love you and she'll never love you? You're just wasting
Mm,
your money time.
okay.
Yeah.
Did she ever wanted to beat you at some stage? Mother-in-law can
Yes,
be dramatic.
yes, she did.
Jesus.
I remember I remember she wanted to beat me. I ran to the car. I went into the car. I locked the car. She
Have you
took a
ever
break.
tried?
She
Have
took
you
a
ever?
break.
Have you ever tried to raise your hands on her?
Never, and I never responded even to her insult until today. Even the whole family, they are saying, you know what? Rena le bo makoti ba bantši in this family, they all insulted us and did all this, but we never heard your voice when you are angry.
Were you saved at the time?
Yes, I was a Christian.
Kuru fastile kama umama zala wantu guri. Hlamulo, hlamulo. Unmute yourself, hlamulo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
can you hear me?
Yes. Tell me, hlamulo, I know you're married, and tell me, how was your relationship with your mother?
It was so very bad.
You guys,
It was very bad to an extent that when I had this Maria relate me, it's I don't know whether to call it a coincidence or what. I just feel or maybe a mother-in-law was just like a twin to my mother-in-law because
Because what happened? Tell us, comrade. Tell us.
I guess as women, we travel a very rough journeys when it comes to marriage, because each and
Can I correct you? Just say as men and women.
yes,
Yeah, because if you
or
said as women,
women.
yes, comrade, you are out of order.
Okay. As men and women, we are having it tough. But honestly, Bishop, even though you are saying that I must say men and women, I believe that the in-laws, like on our side, my mom will love my husband so much, because when we were together, maybe when we visit my family, he'd be so loving, so caring, and all these things. But I was busy hiding so many things that was taking place in my marriage. I couldn't tell my mom. I couldn't even tell my sisters that I'm going through this and that. And
okay, hold on. You were hiding things. What things were you hiding?
Lots and lots of things. Okay, my marriage was so full of abuse, physical.
Okay, what abuse were you talking?
Like physical, the beatings.
Msang.
Yes.
What were you? Okay, what were you doing when to be moved like
that? My husband is very jealous. I believe I've been accused of cheating with maybe the whole colleagues in the department.
Were you not? Were you not cheating?
No.
Have you never cheated?
No, I never did that. To an extent,
I must get your husband on Friday to come and join us in this conversation.
And he will tell you that you are my boyfriend. You can try that. But I know that it's gonna all end in tears.
Huh?
Yes. Yeah. I'm definitely sure about that. That he'll just tell you that, you know what, you are her boyfriend. I'm sure about it. But anyway, yeah, that's that. I've tried so much to engage the mother-in-law in maybe trying to adjudicate our problems. And I remember at one point, she said to me, I remember I called her, and she said to me, you know what, Andrew in'wana wa mina, unge n'wi this, just leave him. Imagine going to the mother-in-law carrying a very heavy burden, and when you reach there, you know what, unge n'wi
was he a bad guy? I just said
sure. Things we go, we
were you born again by that time?
Yes, and I was a prayer warrior. I was praying, and that time, I was like 1st January. Maybe namuntlha. Like I'll be like, yeah, I'll be praying.
They were mooring you even when you were praying.
Yes, when you are coming from the night prayer.
I guess those. And what was your kid saying by then when those things are happening?
You know what? It's so sad, Bishop, because in most cases we stay in marriages that are not working, thinking that we are doing our kids a favor, want to raise our kids in in a happy family, trying to hide
Functional
the
family.
yeah, trying to hide the blue eye, trying to hide that we are fighting with the father and all this. It was only during the divorce when I've realized the damage that I've caused to my kids. Because now we were fighting, he wanted to the what do they call this? The
Custody.
okay, he wanted to have the kids. We were fighting over the kids, who must take the kids. And then they had to refer us to the master of the high court. Then we had to see the counselor over there. And it was only when I received the report from the family advocate's office that I've done a huge damage to my kids, because whatever the kids said, it was damning. I remember the first question that they've been asked, I was not even there. They asked them as to, do you know what's the meaning of divorce? They said yes. Are you happy now that your parents are divorcing? And all of them said yes, we are happy. Why? Because we are now staying with our granny, and we are happy. The house that we've been staying at was never a happy home. So you could imagine. I remember one of my boys, I've got twins, they are 18 now. When we divorced, I think they were 14, 15, somewhere there. He said he's playing hockey. He said, every time I go to sleep, I would sleep with my hockey stick underneath my pillow, so that I could hear mommy scream. I was so ready to go hit my father. So I would imagine, what if Ngwana loyi siku rin'wanyana a teke action and hit the father, ku va na a murder case? Who was supposed to be blamed there? It was me, because things were out of hand, but I was hanging in to say, I know it's gonna be okay. Ay, Stalunga, hey, this I'm praying, hey, this, but the damage that I'm causing, it was huge.
It was terrible, Mchar.
Yeah, it was so bad. Itindlela hinkwato, Bishop. So it's
Vero, tell me, what's your experience? What is it that you've experienced?
For me, when it comes to my mother-in-law, was a sweetheart. I respected her until, even after our marriage ended, we still kept in touch. I remember even the day that I said to her, I'm out. And she told me that, you know what, you have done your best. I would have been out long time ago. You actually, really tried. And all she did was she said that she's asking that I make sure that we keep in touch, and the child must know them, and I give them access to the child, which is what happened all the time. They'll ask her, the child will go to Durban and spend time with them, we'll organize all those kind of things. And even when I was still in that marriage, I remember when I gave birth, when I was pregnant, actually, my mother-in-law used to go for the visits with me. She'll write it in a diary. She'll be the one who reminds me that tomorrow we're meeting where we were. She will untie my shoes. I remember one nurse asking that, Haibo, is this your last born? She said, yes. And she said, but I know that your last born is not a girl. So she's like, yeah, she's my son's wife. Yeah. So she is my last born. I won't lie. I think if things were to be swapped, my mother-in-law loved me more than even my ex-husband ever did.
Do you?
A beautiful soul.
Okay. Do you?
Even today with the family, because of her.
How do you deal with the arrangement of your husband meeting your child?
For me, my ex-husband had a drug problem. So we had agreed that he has access to the child, but only under supervision, with that he has his sister, cousin, or his dad, or his brother, and so on. So that's how we do it. He had access anytime he wanted, he will arrange. And since I had moved to Gauteng, when he comes this side, he wants to see the child, we'll meet a neutral place, restaurant, we sit, we have lunch, whatever the case is. He will say if he's still around to see the child, but it was always under supervision for the sake of safety, because I had issues with the part that he was still on the drugs. So yeah.
Yeah.
So for me,
So,
I never
is he married now?
I've seen.
Is he married now?
I don't think he is. I don't know. I don't think he is.
Maria,
Hello, Bishop.
you divorced and got married.
Yeah.
By the way, Maria, she just got married recently. Let's give her a round of applause.
Congrats.
Yeah.
And she's in my house. And she's in my house.
Yeah.
You said that already.
Okay.
She's in my house.
Yes, I am.
I asked Vero to come, she refused.
Maria, I didn't refuse.
Tell me. You just got married. Tell us about the new marriage, the issue between you and the kids of the guy.
Okay, my own kids.
Yeah, and his kids. What is the relationship?
Okay. I can say we are still in the forming stage because it's still new. But well, he spoke to his kids. They blessed
Have you met
him.
them?
Yes, they were there at our wedding. They were there.
Were they participating?
Yes, they even gave speech. My kids have spoken and his kids have spoken.
All of them?
All of them, yes.
How many are there?
Okay, that is personal. That is personal. That is personal. What, my Bishop? Hi. That is personal, okay?
I can imagine. Okay.
Just leave it there. Let's continue.
But do they talk?
Yes, they've spoken so well. They've given us their blessing. They were so happy and excited. And it was mostly because they witnessed the abuses that we went through. You know, my son was like over the moon and so emotional, and when he was giving a speech that at last my mother will be happy because he knows he knows everything that I went through. So
were you beaten? Were you beaten?
No, mine was an emotional, horrible abuse. I can't relate to the story. It's just
were you not abusing him emotionally?
Me abusing him.
Yeah, because you guys is one thing. I just gonna be honest and talking to you. As an bishop.
Maybe the way I was abusing him, you know how I was abusing him.
No, can I talk?
Oh, talk.
As a bishop, you guys, you can be very emotional to someone else.
Yeah.
And you abuse them unaware.
Okay.
And when your partner reacts to it, you feel like you've been abused.
You're 100%. So I want to share
And
with you how I
and
abuse it.
some of these men, some of us men, we are very much reactionary
Yeah.
because we keep things very long.
Bonded.
And then we react. The day we react, we challenge him.
Okay.
It's not a good thing to do, but sometimes I've been in a relationship where you know, someone will be talking to you but not talking to you. And a statement is directed somewhere but it's directed to you. You understand? And these are things that sometimes people are not aware. Some people, you see, there are certain things that if two people don't sit down and address it very well, unfortunately, I think this democracy had brought us freedom. No, that's Maria. It's you should expect this from Maria. It's not
Did you fall, Maria?
That's very
Again,
You fall.
I'm talking a very touching story, so she had to fall.
Is there Asha next to you there, please?
no, that was my son touching my phone. He wanted to charge the phone.
Okay.
Okay.
Emotional abuse sometimes is done on both ways, both partners. I'll give you an example. Let's say I come back late. Here is a person, let's say another comrade hugged me. Ne? I'll give it an example by myself. Somebody commented to my status one day. And then my partner fought with me over the status that was commented.
On the Facebook.
On the Facebook. You know, if I paste my pictures, I will be left, you know, I can be blocked for 2-3 days on WhatsApp and on calls. Then I ask, why is women who are commenting on your status? What are those women looking for? And I was like,
What can you say?
what can you say? In a way, she ended up inboxing all women who were commenting on my status.
Respectful. Oh, sorry.
I'm telling you. And in the process of doing that, then she found people that some of them I dated them long time ago. Some of them I tried. I mean, people who are in my Facebook, most of them, I know them. It's very few that I don't know them. So some said, yes, I've dated him, but not now. And she went on and asking contact and asking contact. If, you know, and then a WhatsApp group was made.
Group of the girlfriends. Allah.
A WhatsApp group was made. I can tell you, that WhatsApp group was made.
Yeah, this woman was so brave.
And then others, they told me, I said, stay in the group, let us see what is going to happen.
Drama.
Even my cousins were there in that drama. So there's a guy who put the pictures of his wife on the Facebook. He's my relative. So he decided to put his wife and the kids. He's not there on the Facebook. So he was also there in that because they thought it's a woman. And I decided to let go of the relationship because I knew this is toxic. Because if I can continue, people will be inboxed. And she started to change the strategy. By that time, I'm no longer with her now. Then she started to, people can be very serious. If there's people who can be so abusive, it's you guys. And you can go to an extent. She even, because she knew if I post a picture with an MEC or a minister, she would try by all means to get to that minister.
Okay.
Do you understand? And I kept quiet. I never responded and I just kept quiet. So whatever that was discussed there, I was getting it every day. Remember, mind you, they are my friends. There is my family members. She doesn't know about it. And then she will be talking, this is my husband, blah, 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 and all these things. And so one number, which was an 074, so it was my number. So one person asked her to edit. So it was add on that group. So I was responding every day. And she doesn't know it's me. So I started questioning some of the things. So I laughed. And I have those conversations. That's how people are told that be a man, be like a man next door. Try something. Your job is not paying you enough. And these lead into gender-based violence. But that's not a topic of today. But those are things that people can be very offensive, not being aware. A lot of things, and particularly cyberbullying. Hey, lazy blacks, and look at this boy who was doing an advert for Assurance. What is his name? What is his name?
That guy.
He was accused with the false things when he lost his job.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You look at the issue of Unati and Suizu. And in most cases, people have a big mouth. It's you ladies. Hey, you can talk. And that, I'm going to finish that. And that, it leads into chaotic situation. Yes, a man, it's wrong to be physical abuse. It's wrong to be emotional abuse. No abuse that is tolerated and so on. But if there's something that is so painful, it's emotional abuse. Right? One day, one of my friends, okay, this is what happens. It happens in Venda. A guy dated a lady, a Venda lady in Pulukwa. Now, as he dated a Venda lady in Pulukwa, the lady realized somewhere along the way they had an issue between the guy and the lady. So some people comes and talk about this lady and say this lady slept with their boss to be able to get a job. Now somebody also comes and said to this guy, da, 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 da. And then this lady, the guy then went to an extent of bugging the phone, find a different conversations, find things that were very horrible. Now, this guy, their differences in their relationship was no longer nice. The guy decided to have a relationship with another lady. Now, this lady took her friends, they drove to the house of the lady that the guy is trying to move. Mind you, this guy is not leaving this lady because he doesn't love the lady. The guy loves the lady. He was prepared to live with her, regardless of whatever that was said. And they loved the lady. He loved the kids of this lady. I agree with Vero. If there are people that loves the kids, it's us men. Till now we love, regardless whether it's yours or not. We love. Tina siyatanda nje. Nachivenda fika kudzona noranga kaya. So Tina we love. Whether it's ours, especially me, I'm just full of love. Because I'm born February. People are full of love. But then this guy, he tried to address to the lady and say, you know what? I'm sorry I did that, but I never wanted to do it. But it's because what you're telling me. You never have faith in me. You're always accusing me. Yet you have this 1, 2, 3. So they part ways. The guy met another lady in Pendo. When he met this woman, he realized, you know, have you ever noticed that men don't wait for, if a man broke up with Vero today, tomorrow you will go to Maria. There's no healing process. Whether he still wants Vero, it doesn't matter. So he goes to this one. And when he goes to this one, he realized, no, there's something here. He found out this lady was dating one of his best friends. Ne? He said, no, I can't. So by the time he went back from this lady, when he left from the lady was pregnant. He comes to this one. This one is pregnant. She became pregnant. You understand? Aneri, you know, you women, if I sleep with Maria, she became pregnant. I go to Vero, I go to Shamun. 3 of you will be pregnant.
Yeah.
Now, this guy, within 3 months, so one day he was drunk, he was trying to console himself from the stress. He still loved this first woman. But the first woman is not saying that. Her heart is somewhere else to another guy who has a lot of money than this one. Now, this guy goes and finds someone, not because he loved her. You know, he's stressed. So he found another one. He said, I've been very faithful to the first one. Let me have 2 of them at a go. So he had 2 girlfriends. So they were going. Now, so he left all of them. He went back to the first one and tried to fix things. So things never worked. So he accepted when he had okay, your woman she was pregnant. She was seeing this guy. So what happened is that this guy was dating another lady. That this lady, her friend, knows this guy and knows that this one is dating a lady. He was dating a lady who is in Polokwane and she's pregnant because of this guy. Now, what then happened is that this one, the lady that he was dating, the friend was dating the boyfriend of the very same lady in Pulukwan, which the lady in Pulukwan want to go back to this guy. Now, this guy is doing almost everything. He wants to go back there, but he's not been loved there. And his issue is not like so whoever that meets, whoever that sleep with, it doesn't matter. It's just for the sake of time. He's working his relationship, and the relationship never worked. The lady gave birth, the guy went there, and this is where things get tougher. So the lady called, because the lady always confused this guy. Because the lady will call this guy, the guy will go, do whatever that they were doing, the guys go back. So now the guys move on, but it's hard to move on. I don't know if you guys, because when he explained these things to me, I could relate because I knew what he's talking about. Because when you left somebody that you love so much, even if you can fall in love with someone, you still think of Veronica. You know, it doesn't matter who you are with. That's why sometimes when people are making love, they always mention the name of the people whom they love. And regardless of whatsoever, they will be mentioning. Now, these girls, it happens that 4 of them, they met in one day, in one place. And they were talking about this guy. And it was chaotic. It was very much chaotic. Now, and this is a very, and the person to be, and girls will not look at what is the reason that makes. That's why if somebody was talking about Veronica too, and I was so disturbed that day. I even tell that person, I will block. Let's see how Veronica looks like. Let me just add here so that even the viewers can see what I'm talking about. You see, like it or not, she's a beautiful lady who knows how to take care of herself. I mean, look at the hair, the face. I know my bad, as we say. You know, it's beautiful. But I can tell you, the people who will criticize her will be women, not men. One was telling me, you used to hate people with Brazilian hair when you are preaching. See Edward in your platform. Now, this is how, and it's an abuse. The minute you open your mouth and start to talk bad about someone, it's an abuse. I mean, look at Shamulo. A very beautiful lady, a beautiful Shangal. You could even think she's a colored lady. I mean, 3 of you, Maria, you can't think she's Shangan. You know, yes, you know how Shangan and Venda behaves. Veronica, why are you hiding yourself? You know how the people from Limpopo behave.
No,
you know?
It had kicked me out. It had kicked me out.
You're lying.
It had kicked me out. Sorry.
You see?
I'm not lying. It was saying reconnecting for a long time. I didn't even hear what you said.
Yeah. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, what I'm saying is that things we do, we don't check. Now, if a person comes to me and say, Maria has been changing guys, the question that I will ask was that, or what I would say, she was looking for love. But sometimes people that we are, because it's an abuse, it's an cyber abuse, and it's an emotional abuse. Things we do, we chase people away from us They try to look for something better, far from us, because we don't see that I've been a problem to somebody. Eh? One guy was telling me, that somebody's snoring.
Are you
Who's
guys
that?
sleeping? Who's sleeping?
Samulo might be sitting with someone who's sleeping, who is even snoring.
No, I'm alone. I'm alone. I'm not sleeping. It
Something
can't be me.
happens. Okay, what I'm saying is that I know we've diverted from our topic, is that most of the time, this guy was telling me about when his wife comes back from work, she comes with a laptop and she'll be busy on the laptop, busy on the phone. The poor guy wants sex. I know there are people who do sex early, 9, 10, 11, 12 when they're active, very early. They're early birds. So they will do one round when they sleep, and then second round around 11, and then they sleep. Maybe when they wake up in the morning. And some will just do one. Now, but this one now, she's on the phone. You know, she's just on the phone. She's just on the phone, WhatsApping. Even when she's sitting with her husband in dining room, so the husband was asking me, what do I do, Bishop? My woman is always on the phone. We can't have a conversation. Now, boreka man. So, Bishop, I want to go and sort myself some. Those kind of a thing. These are the things that we're not addressing them. And these are the things that are killing us badly. You understand? So, it's a challenging issue. The that we're facing the issue of the abuse, the issue of mistreating these kids that you find them there. I grew up in a very in a very terrible situation where I know in Christmas some people be wearing a brand new shoes. When now you only have one shirt from Pep or Express. When you grew up, there was this shop called Express. You just wear a shirt. Oh, say, and your siblings are wearing wonderful things. I mean, I would, wait for my grandmother to come back from work. She used to work for this tea farm, tea company. And I would wait for her to come with the bunches and soap and bread, whatever, macheus that she would get there and eat. I know how to be in a situation whereby kusekwa huku, and when they give you, mautwan.
But that is the nicest part of the chicken, Miss.
But have you ever eat? I mean, there are only two in one chicken, and sometimes there are only two. Abakuniketa namarumbunyana, abakuniketa 2 feet and 1 head of a chicken for you to be able to eat. When I met my late wife, I could not even get the support that one wanted because of a stepmother. You know, those are things. I remember she would lobby others and say, that woman is too big for Maumela. She's too fat. Come to me now, I love that fat. What was making me happy? I wanted a fat. And I stayed. I remember when my firstborn was born, in a way that I end up hating home in my village. That's why my kids, they don't like Venda. You know, because of the experience and what they will hear being said and all this thing, because of that environment, I end up even moving far. So I built my house in Pando so that I'm far from people. Always talk, you know, because now they are competing with you. I agree they had labeled you that, you know, because I was not getting access. And by that time, my dad used to have a nickname, 1,000, because he was that timer that has here. He had money, was money. And yet I'm suffering. My dad was the first man to be in the bus business. So they would bus people from Joburg to Venda. I'm talking about years, from 80s, from 86, 87, 88, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, or 98. My dad was on that business. So I know these things, you know, when things are happening, you just like, but that things taught me to pray and to love God. And I also become sensitive. I can see where there is abuse and then I run away. If I call you 1 or 2 times, 3 times, you don't answer the phone, I run away. Because I don't know what is happening. But what I'm saying is that it's a painful journey. I had a very painful story to tell. I mean, there was a time I was beaten for going to church, just for going to church, because they wanted me to go to ZCC. And I was moved, and I was chased away from the house, and it was raining. And I went somewhere under the tree. I slept there. I don't forget that. You know, those kind of a thing. And a very difficult situation. One of the experience that my son always tell me is that when I arrive in Alexandra, and I arrived in the house in London, 16th Avenue, and there was a small, I could not stay with my dad and my stepmother. So they went and looked for Kuku for me. So, and I'm very young. I think I was 16 by then. So I stayed in a Mkuku. The only thing I had was a millimeter, which I got it from Venda. My grandmother sent it by the bus. I'm 16 years. I'm staying in a shack, bruh. It's raining. And when it was raining, you know, in a Mkuku when it's raining, and the water is, I mean, here on the floor, there is water all over. And now on top, it's also raining. So no way actually you can run.
Those are the situations we come from. That's why we come from a humble beginning. We were made to be who we are. And that's the story. So when people see me now and, they think, this is just a cheese boy, who have it all. Yes, I'm from my family, the only family that had nothing is my mom's family. Though my mom was working, but my dad's family, she was working, my mom, but it was not that much. But my dad's family had dollar food, had man, everything was there. I remember this woman, uh, Mrs. Morovets, from Gaba, that woman, I will never and never forget about it. Though by the time she bought me a uniform. So it was a nice shirt and the trousers and the shoes. And I wanted her daughter. So I wanted to propose a daughter.
Hey,
Now the mother's buying me those things. Hey, I felt now, hey, I've been loved here. Even the mother could see. So I wrote the letter. When I wrote the letter, it was read by the teacher in front of everyone in the class. I was like, sure. I was like, hey, this woman. I thought she loves me. So I'm writing the way I love it, all these things. And I think there was Fari, Rutendo, and Messi, and Fari, and this other girl. And there was these big sisters. Back in the days, you will have these big sisters, maybe 10 years older than you, and 15 years. Those who have repeated one class 3 times, and then they go to the next one 2 times, and go to the third one 4 times, 3 times, and all these things. So, and then I wrote this letter. I'm proposing this girl through a letter. Hey, Rutendo, I love you. I don't know. I know maybe Rutendo, she's listening. Sorry, Rutendo. And she gave it to the teacher, and then the teacher read that letter. Yo, I was so heartbroken. I was so hard. So those are the things, and that we comes from. That's why I become very sensitive to my kids. I even decide that, thank God that they're growing up in a good pace that I want to, but I will never want my kids to be raised by anybody. For you to, for someone to arrive there, they would have to convince me that they will not do what I've went through. Because my experience, I cannot. I right the experience. And the worst thing there is that the person will be a Christian going to church, and you don't know what prayer they pray. All those kind of things. And people will be, and all those kind of things. And they're just like, and that make me, even today, I am not that close. And it taught me, what I thank God for is that all this experience were teaching me independence. I'm very much independent. It's me and my kids and no one else. I don't, Tlamulo. I don't have, I can tell you, if you can go to my brother and ask them when last they saw me, they will tell you we only meet when there's a funeral. I love them. I have no grudges about them. I love my stepmother. She made me to be who I am. I thought, you see, there's this song that says, you saw the best in me when everyone else could not even think, or will everyone else think of the worst on me. But God saw the best on me. And then there is this song that says by Jesus Culture. No, not Jesus Culture. I think it's Jesus Culture, or this is Elevation. Elevation. So yeah, I think it's Elevation. This song that says, what is this song? What's the song? Come on, Bishop, think about the song. The song says, what was made to kill me, God will turn it to be my blessing.
Mm.
And I started believing God. I become so dedicated to my things. That's why whatever I touch, whatever I lay my hand on, God bless it. Whatever I touch, if I said I'm starting something now, God blesses it. We talk about fixing an iPhone last week, but this week we already launched the first place where the phones will be sent to be fixed, and Branson. And I can tell you, we already have 7 iPhones in our place that have been fixed. That's how God deals with me. Whatever I touch, God blesses. If I said, this is what I want to do, whatever I touch, God blesses. That's what I'm saying. So thank you so much. I can see Tlamulo, she's falling there. And Maria, it's falling. And then it's only me and Veronica who are still alive. So thank you so
Actually, I'm
much.
dozing off. I'm sorry.
No. Sleep. Tomorrow we'll start on time. I had a challenge of dropping my daughter
Okay.
back to the school because she had to go back to the school. So we left late because we're still sorting out, trying to help Maria, Muruti Maria, le bana ba hae. So we're about so we apologize. So
Fine.
tomorrow is when?
Wednesday.
Veronica, it's Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
On Thursday is my birthday, fellows.
Mm.
It's my birthday. You must bless me, Barcelona. I need.
Pray for you.
Don't pray for me, please. I am.
Those are blessings.
Don't. I need man, Bazalwan. I need gifts, Bazalwan. Don't pray for me, Bazalwan. God will bless you. I'm blessed already.
Those are the best blessings.
When you
Yeah.
send me a message, it must be followed by a gift, Bazalwan. Very good. I'm told there's a certain group that is organizing something. So one person sent a message to someone who can't keep quiet. So I'm told they've given a task and they gave some shops and they put one shop that I don't like. At least the first one, the diesel store is fine. The Pringle at least is fine, but Polo will high. They put Polo store there. So I know they are watching here. They must not bring anything. Just do something small. And people who want to do surprises, they must notify me because you won't find me. So I'm told there's something that has been planned and in 2 ways, and I know there's something in Limpopo, there's something in Joburg, and then there's something in Venda. So I really appreciate for everyone who they think they were doing things behind me, but I know already. And I know now I've got my own plan that are known by my heart. So if you don't plan with so thank you so much for everybody that support us. And for those who have been supporting us by this session, Ceci Vero, Maria, Ntlamolo, please, let's invite others. What we are doing is that we are changing the face. From tomorrow until Sunday, it's teaching and prayer, teaching and prayer, teaching and prayer. And I won't teach. We start with Pharaoh. Tomorrow, Thursday, we go to Maria. Friday, we go to.
Hello.
Can you hear me? Hello?
I was not hearing anything.
From tomorrow, we start
You are
preaching.
breaking.
Can you hear me?
Okay, now I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, now I can hear you.
So tomorrow it's you, Veronica, you preach.
Yes, now I can hear you.
Yeah, and then Thursday's Maria.
Now I don't hear you.
And then Fridays in Kam. You preach, we pray. Let's start at 8. Preach, and then we pray. And then we go. Is that fine?
Yeah.
Thank you. God bless you.